Good morning, everyone. This is Mike. Today is Sunday, June 25th, 2017, and this is another installment of the Oakley Home 2.0 video blog series where I give a recap of what's been happening in the past week, as well as a look ahead to what's in store for the next 7 days with regards to the new single-family home I am designing, developing, and having constructed in the Oakley neighborhood of Cincinnati. There continues to be a lot of activities both on the site itself as well as behind the scenes. So I will focus a little bit after I give a construction update on the construction financing that's involved with this project and how that drawdown process works. But first, construction-wise, two big events happening this past week. The first being the rough grading. The site was backfilled up to the edges of the foundation and the garage, so now there's no longer a giant hole in the ground. It's all graded all the way from the front down the hill to the walkout basement. I was curious how it was going to turn out, considering there is a lot of fall from front to back of the site, as well as these homes being so close together. My own home as well as the two neighbors' properties, but it turned out really great. So if you want to see some of the grading, there's photos and videos of that are posted on the Home 2.0 blog website. Along with that, what was also going on last week was installing the underground plumbing, the drain lines that are for the fixtures in the basement that's going to be finished. It includes the toilet as well as the shower drain that need to be roughed in before the slab goes in, as well as there's a floor drain that's over by where the mechanical systems in the basement are, and then there's also a line that feeds from all the other plumbing fixtures in the building that are above basement level. So that was inspected and approved, which means that they have the green light next week to pour the basement slab as well as the garage slab. And then once that's done, the framers will be out on site, I think, next week, and they'll start framing the floor structure and work their way up from there. It takes about, I want to say, 2 weeks to go from nothing to having the house pretty much fully framed. So it moves up quick. Certainly I'll be taking a lot of pictures, so follow along with that. And that kind of wraps up the construction portion of this video blog update. That said, talking a little bit about the construction loan and the drawdown process. A couple things. First, the structure of the loan itself. And this is the way most construction loans work. What happens is that you are approved to borrow a certain amount that covers pretty much the entire cost of the actual construction itself. But that money is not all dispersed at one single time, which is actually a good thing for everybody. It's a good thing for the bank because they're not on the hook for a large sum of money that someone theoretically could walk away with. The builder could, if they weren't honest, could leave town with all that money if it was dispersed already. But it's also positive from the owner's standpoint because with the way the construction loan is structured, being an interest-only loan, you only pay interest on a monthly basis on the amount of money you have drawn down. So right now, instead of having the whole entire amount of what the house is going to cost to build being borrowed currently and having to pay interest on that whole amount, I'm only paying interest on the amount that's been drawn down, which covers the cost of what's actually been incurred or the work performed so far. So for me, that's actually just the closing costs on the initial loan. So I'm paying right now in construction, on the construction loan for interest, less than $20 a month. Now that's going to change because as the construction progresses with the foundation being finished now and that being the first major draw, I think there's usually about 5 or 6 depending on how things are structured, then that money will be dispersed once I approve that and the bank ensures that all that work was performed. Now the monthly payment that I'm paying in interest is going to steadily increase as the amount on the construction loan that has been drawn down also has increased. That's just a little bit of background about how that stuff works. It's something that I think as an architect, purely, it's not something you necessarily have to worry about, but with many architects that I know interested in getting into becoming an architect developer, stuff like that is really equally as important as anything architecturally related to ensuring a successful project. So you just kind of have to be conscious of all that other stuff that's happening on a more federal level. That interest rate on the construction loan actually ticked up 0.25% recently because interest rates on the federal level, which that interest is tied to, also went up. So in addition to what's going on just locally in your neighborhood, you got to really pay attention to what's going on a national level, just with the general economic climate of things as well. Sorry to bore you with the details. I think I find that interesting, so hopefully some of you do, but thanks for sticking with me, and that's all I have today. So until next time, have a great rest of the weekend and week ahead, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.